So this is my proposed route to get from Chula Vista, California up to Prescott, Arizona over 3 days and 2 nights. My intent is to leave out of Chula Vista, run out Proctor Valley Road, then start heading north up Skyline Truck Trail around Boulder Creek Road, make my way up to Julian. Once Julian, come down the mountain, go to Borrego Springs, have lunch in Borrego Springs, go around the Salton Sea, head south, back up, and spend the first night camping in the Cibola area. Next day, head on north towards Parker, Arizona. Work my way back down, have lunch off the 77, and then make my way up to Alamo Lake, where I'll camp for a second night. Come back, and then catch the absolutely beautiful 89 highway and work my way up into Prescott, Arizona. So my intent for this trip is to use the hard cases. The two side and the top case. I do have a rack that I can take this off if I wanted to put a soft bag. I can put a 60-liter bag there. I also have a little small one for daytime run, but I think I'm going to try and stick with this gear. I'm not doing any heavy off-roading. I'm just on kind of gravel roads and maintain dirt roads, so I'm not too worried about dropping the bike or getting caught with the case. Plus, with these cases, I've got these Endurastand bags that strap on here. That gives me a lot more additional storage. Plus, I've got room for a water bottle here. That's another gallon of water that I can carry that's really convenient. So that's the plan right now. In this case, I keep my first aid gear. The next bit of gear and kit that I'm carrying, I have a Survivor full first aid kit. I have a mosquito net, I've got some extra gauze and padding and bandages, I've got trauma kit, I've got a tourniquet, I've got a chest seal, and I've got a couple of SAM splints just in case I or someone else gets hurt. And that's about it. Not too much, but this is pretty complete. It's got everything needed, at least for emergency first aid treatment up until advanced medical support arrives. And that all fits in here neatly and nicely. This is a waterproof bag, so I don't really have to worry about this too much. And that's the medical gear. My intent is that my camping gear will go in this larger box here, so that will be a sleeping bag, sleeping pad, tent, that kind of thing. I am bringing a camp chair. I'm a big advocate of the camp chair, but it will not fit in here, so I'm going to have to strap that on top of this box. So we'll see how that fits as we get closer to going. On this box, it's my intent to have my kitchen, the camp kitchen and all that kind of bits and whatnot, and possibly the food. I'm not sure the food will fit or not. And then this, or you know what, yeah, I'll probably put the camp kitchen here. I'll put the food in this top case because it's mostly just bag stuff, and that should work. And then camera gear and my personal effects, clothing, and that kind of thing will go in the top case. So hopefully that'll all fit. We'll see as we get closer. Okay, so I wanted to go over all the gear that I intend to bring on this adventure motorcycle solo ride. And I figured I'd start with the tools. I have my tools broken down into two parts. The first part is everything that goes inside my TourTech little toolbox that's behind my driver's side pannier box. So all of this fits in there. So the intent is this is just sort of minor roadside repairs, nothing major. I am far from being a GS engineer or mechanic. So I've got enough to fix loose things, hopefully, you know, duct tape and baling wire it together enough to get me somewhere, or at least get me back on the road where I can get a wrecker. So I have the Cruise Tools Road Tech set up. It's a great little tool kit here. It's got pretty much all your major equipment you need for minor repairs. I've added some zip ties, but you've got hub wrenches if you need to pull the wheel, a couple of spanners, crescent wrench, vice grips, air gauge, some Allen wrenches, and some of the star wrenches, as well as some sockets and duct tape. So kind of the basics are here. I augment this setup with the Motion Pro tool. I really like this. This I always keep pretty handy. So this is great for just tightening up things really quick. Just any kind of quick roadside, something is vibrated loose, a license plate, or whatever you need. This little kit is really good for that. So I take that literally, that's just with me every day regardless. I've got the ubiquitous multi-tool. This is a Victorinox Swiss tool that I have had literally for decades. This has been with me on more adventures than I can count. I've had it forever. Great little piece of gear. I carry a multimeter. I am, again, no great maintenance guy, but I can at least find if there's a short or something's not grounding right or something, so I carry a multimeter with me. And then I have a tow strap, just in case I can't fix it and there's another bike that comes by. Maybe somebody can at least get me to a paved road to get a wrecker. Got a rag and some gloves, so I don't get too grimed up if I have to stop and do a roadside repair. All right, so all of this does fit into the Touratech box, and then I'll show you the second half of my equipment, which goes in one of the side panniers. And here it all is in the Touratech box, and it fits in there nice and neatly, so easy. And this is the second half of my motorcycle recovery gear. I have a cycle pump, air pump. This is a little large. I couldn't carry this on the KTM, but it is a nice pump. It works beautifully well. Fits onto the stem and airs up the tire incredibly quickly. So when I've got the room, I bring this. I've got just a mat to put on the ground so I'm not rolling around in the dirt or mud depending on what I'm doing. I have a battery charger. Just in case for some reason battery's cold in the morning or doesn't start, I've got a way to jump start myself and I'm not stranded. Got a little piece of gear there. I've got a tire repair kit. This is obviously the GSA is tubeless, so I've got everything I need to fix a puncture in the tire, hopefully short of having to take the entire tire off. And then I broke down, and for this trip I bought the eastbound the Moto winch, if you're not familiar with. Basically this is a self-recovery tool to help you lift the bike back up if it dumps over. I'll be doing a little bit of road on this trip, but I am going to be solo, and with all the weight I'm carrying, the bike is going to be incredibly heavy. So I might have it in me to lift it once if I'm lucky, but honestly I don't want to throw out my back, hurt my hips, hurt my knees any worse than they already are. So I did invest in this, and it stays on the bike for these kind of trips. So that will help me jack the bike back up onto its wheels if I decide to let it take a dirt nap somewhere. So that's it. That's what I've got for all my tools in that part of gear. So any questions or comments, please let me know, and I'll be happy to address them with you. Okay, so this is my camp gear that I intend to bring on this trip, and again, this is somewhat customizable because I am on a 1250, so I've got a little more room, so I'm going to be a little more comfortable than when I camp off my 690. I generally keep a list on my iPhone of motorcycle camping gear, and it has anything and everything, from cold weather gear to hot weather gear. It's all on one list, and then I just scratch it off as situationally dependent. So we'll go through this. Starting on the left is a Copper Spur UL2 bike tent. I love these tents. I've had the UL1. They're fantastic because the form factor is so small. I mean, this is a two-person tent, plus it's in a waterproof bag. It's got straps, so it can be strapped outside on top of the panniers, but in this case, it actually should fit inside the panniers. So I really like these. The only drawback, they are expensive. But this is kind of like the tent's one of those things I feel like quality matters a lot in a good tent. I don't want to be wet, cold, or having it fall apart on me on the middle of a trip. As this looks like it's going to be a pretty hot trip. The weather's been warm out here in the southern U.S. I am going with a very light bag. This thing is rated at I think 40 degrees, but this is an EQ Pro. I picked this up on Amazon for like 20 bucks. $25. It very inexpensive, very lightweight bag, but small form factor, and in hot weather, probably all I'm going to need. I also have an air mattress, the Nemo. This is the Quasar 3D insulated. It's a regular wide. I am at the point now, if I can get away with a wider air mattress, I'm going to use it, because the narrow ones, you know, my shoulders, my arms just fall off, and I can never get comfortable. So this is another one that is more expensive, but a comfortable night's sleep when you're camping is, in my mind, virtually invaluable. Same with the pillow. This is a Nemo pillow. It goes out, this thing blows up almost into a full-size pillow. It's got a fabric cover around it, so it is super, super comfortable. Going down the road of comfort, I am also bringing a cot. This easily fits even in a one-person tent. It about takes up the tent, but it puts me off the ground a little bit, and it allows me to store stuff underneath me because it's raised off the ground. So I like the convenience of a cot, and this thing is very small form factor. This will not fit in my luggage, so this will get strapped on outside the bike. And then into the camp area itself, I've got a little collapsible table. I think, again, this is an Amazon purchase from a company called Rock Cloud. Wasn't expensive, but it folds out and makes a little table to put next to your chair. And again, like a lot of moto adventure people, especially people in my age, a chair is kind of mandatory. And I'm even a little more than that. This is a high back, high legged chair, so it sits up a little higher, so I don't have to fall into it. It's not like, you know, a foot off the ground. And it's got a high back, so you can rest your head against it. Incredibly comfortable chair. I also keep just a very small little, like, 4x4 tarp in here that I can put under the chair, or if I want to take my shoes off and just let my feet air out, I'm not walking, sitting in the dirt. So that's that. I have a camp light. Again, this is made by a company called Outtask. Pretty slick little number. It just comes out, it expands out, and you can have the light going down, or you can rotate this and make it up, or a spotlight or whatever. But it's just a nice little camp light. And then when that's, if I want less than that, I've got a little candle lantern here that runs on isobutane. So this puts out very little light, but it's kind of a nice, you know, kind of relaxing light around the campsite. I have a couple of fire starter kits in case I'm lucky enough to find firewood at my campsite. I think one night I definitely will. I'm not sure about the other. I may have to ride into town and strap a bundle on the bike or something, but we'll see. I have it just in case. Obviously, I have a lamp. I like these LED style that come across here because it's a nice even white light. One thing about where the area I'm camping on the first night, it is definitely a rattlesnake and scorpion area there. I camped in that area back in the early 2000s, and man, scorpions were running all over the place. So I want to be able to have a light so I know where I'm stepping, where I'm putting my feet down. I've got a little lighting system for the tent. This is a string light essentially that also has a reading light on it, so I can strape that inside if I want to sit in my tent and maybe read or just relax a bit. I've got a little mini pump for the air mattress. Good little piece of gear. Gives you several charges out of one. It will inflate and deflate. Frankly, the deflation is important as the inflation, because if you're one of those people that can't get these darn things back into the bag they come with, the deflator helps because it literally sucks out all of the air and it's perfectly flat, which makes it really easy to get back in the sack. And then this is just a ground sheet for this tent. So that's my camp gear in a nutshell. It has served me well in the past in various, various configurations of this, but generally this has all worked pretty well. Any questions or comments? Please leave them in the comment section. Okay, so this is my camp kitchen kit that I'm planning to take on the motorcycle trip. This is basically kind of an add-on from my more primitive kit that I used to carry when I would travel on my 690 Enduro. I had soft bags, the Moscow Moto soft side luggage, so it was a little more compact. I've got a little more room, so I've added a few more luxury items here, but we'll go through each of those. I guess starting here on the left, this is an add-on. I have this Fire Maple. It's actually designed to be a tent heater, but you can also use it as a grill. They have this little griddle that comes with it that goes up on top of here, and some tongs, which is a nice way if you want to cook a little sausage or a slice of Spam, which I plan to do, and kind of grill it. So I'll be bringing that and trying it out. I have not used this before, but I do like Fire Maple's products. I've got a couple other things from theirs, and they tend to be pretty good pieces of gear. So that's that. My main kitchen is, this is coming off the KTM. This is a bag I found on Amazon, Nature Pioneer Outfitters, but it really fits this little stove well. This is the Optimus, larger of the two Optimus camp stoves. And I like this setup because it gives you both a skillet and a pot all in one little kit that kind of nests together. So this is a nice setup. So it's lined, the handles lock in place. So again, a small frying pan. But that's all I need for a single person. And then everything nests within it. So I can bring a bigger bottle of the isobutane, and then it also comes with its own little camp stove that fits on here. And the other thing I really like about this set is that you get a wind block with it. And this just fits around the base of the butane bottle and gives you a nice wind block when you're cooking. So I've been really impressed with this setup. It's interesting, this Optimus, you don't see it very often. A lot of people swear by Jetboil and some of the other stoves that are out there, but honestly, this little thing is efficient. It works beautifully, and I have no complaints with it. Plus, as I say, it's all lined inside, so easy to clean. It's got graduated markings inside, and this thing is like $50, $55. So I think it's a good piece of gear. I have a GSI, just kind of a camp kitchen prep stuff. This is where I keep, exactly what you see here. I've got some mixers, some spoons, a grater. I plan to grate some cheese while I'm out there, cleaning kit, and that kind of thing. Nothing special, just is what it is. I'm bringing a small set of Sea to Summit. Primarily, I intend to use this just if I need to mix up something. Like I'm bringing powdered eggs, so if I want to mix up the egg mix, I've got a little cup to do that, and then I can pour that in my skillet and fry it up from there. So I've got some collapsible measuring cups for my seasonings and the things I intend to make out there. I have a wine glass, just in case I may have a glass of wine. I have a flask, in case I want to have an adult beverage. I've got the Grail water system here. This will be great because both nights I'm camping along water. I'll be camping on the Colorado River the first night, and I'll be camping at Aztec late the second night. So you can just use this, scoop up water, and you're completely covered from pretty much anything and everything. I also have this if I just need an additional pot to boil something in. I've got a Hydro Flask. This will be on the bike next to me. This will be my water while I'm riding. I've got a little saddle for that, so I can use this and just drink while I'm going down the road. I have the new AeroPress Go Plus. I've been a huge fan of the AeroPress since they came out. I had the original AeroPress Go for years. In fact, I just got this. The one thing I didn't like about the AeroPress is that the cup that you kept your coffee in wasn't insulated. Didn't do a real good job of keeping your coffee hot. So now you've got a complete kit here. Everything's built in, and a stainless steel double-lined container. So that will be for my coffee. And let's see, going back to this bag, when I did my minimalist camping, I've also got a cutting board and some cleaning supplies in here as well, so and a lighter. So this was a really convenient little bag, just if you're really kind of doing the minimalist camping. And then the last thing on this, I believe, is a couple of trash bags for each night that I'm at a campsite. So that's the camp kitchen. So we'll see how this all works out. And finally, this is my menu plan for this trip. I intend to make my pasta carbonara, so I have angel hair pasta here, measured out for a single serving. I've got the egg crystals that I will mix up and use for the eggs. I will have a block of Parmesan cheese that I will grate and use that, and some salt and pepper. And then I've also got, I can either use, grill up some Spam to put in here for the meat, or I can use either the pulled pork or even the chopped bacon here to sprinkle in for the carbonara. So I've done this camping in the past, and it always turns out really good, so I enjoy that. For breakfast, I can use the egg crystals again, mix up some scrambled eggs, grill up some Spam or some bacon, sprinkle it in the eggs, and get kind of a little egg scramble in the morning. So the second night, I'm looking at either ramen or fried rice. I haven't made up my mind, so I'm kind of prepared for either one, but they're both really easy to make. And then from this base, I'll add the protein. I'll add some spices. I've got a whole bag here full of soy sauce, sriracha and some other things to kind of doctor it all up. And again, I can add a protein from either the bacon, the pulled pork, or the Spam. And I've even got a hot spicy Spam that I can grill up and use on either one of those. So, and that's it. And if I completely screw all of that up and ruin the meal because I am not the chef that my wife is, I'm carrying a couple of backup freeze-dried meals just so I don't starve overnight. For my beverages, I have a couple of white wines here, since both pasta dishes or fried rice go better with white wine. I've got a Chardonnay and I've got a Pinot Grigio. If I can, I'm going to bring a little small cooler with a little bit of ice so I can chill those down. And then I also have my Camp Old Fashioned kit here that has brown sugar, bitters, everything for an old fashioned for a cocktail. So that is it, other than some, as I say, some spices and the cheese. This is what I'm looking at bringing on this trip. So this is my campsite. Right here on the Colorado River. I already have a little friend here. A little lizard there. Absolutely beautiful. And despite it being 103, the breeze off the water is actually surprisingly cool. And my campsite has some shade, so I think I'm going to be alright. Happiness is getting out of boots. We got a cut. It's about 6 p.m. so it took me about an hour to set up camp at 6:07. Wasn't hard. I just took my time, and no hurry, and it was hot, so I just kind of paced myself to get it all set up. So anyway, I am complete and done. So other than dinner, I don't really have anything else left to except to enjoy the beauty that I've got here. So I think I'm going to celebrate this first night with an old fashioned. I have my old fashioned kit that I found at REI. These are neat little pre-programmed. They got little mini bitters and sugar cube. I did one of these on another motorcycle camping trip, and glass and a little of Kentucky's Finest. So my intent, I brought a small cooler that I can carry in my side bag, and I packed a little ice. However, when it's 105 degrees outside, all you get's a little water. So I think I'm just going to add a splash of very cold water in there just to kind of chill it up a little bit. And that'll just have to do, when you're out in the road. When you're roughing it like this, you got to be tough. So no ice, just a little splash of cold water. Do the old 2-finger rule. Oh, sucker's full. Looks about right. And then we'll dissolve a sugar cube in that comes in this little container here, this little tin. Again, get that in there. And then there's 2 kinds of bitters in here. There is aromatic. Oh, there's 3. I take that back. There's aromatic. There's grapefruit. And there is orange. All right, the traditional old-fashioned is, well, you know what? I'm going to do all 3 because it's my old-fashioned. So give a little splash of everything and see how it tastes. And then look what a beautiful, beautiful evening this is turning out to be. Having this tree while I'm getting some of the seeds off of it, it's worth it just to have the shade. So. Alright, so that's that. This kit even comes with a little stir. You really want to be decadent. Little mini spoon and a stir. I like this thing. So I will mix that up. Wish I had an ice cube, but I don't. And I think I may enjoy this with a cigar. There's nobody here. Can't imagine it bothering anybody, so well, that's what we're going to do tonight. I'll be enjoying this Macanudo for the evening. I don't enjoy these very often, but a night like this is one of those times. Cheers, everybody. Well, today was quite a day. Generally went according to schedule. The dirt trails are absolutely beautiful. Boulder Creek Road is amazing. Great elevation changes, kind of going from the desert up into the mountains of the Laguna Forest. Couple of tight spots, couple of ruts. I was rattling around pretty good, but man, the GS Adventure just ate it up. So much better bike than I am rider, and I'll take that any day of the week because it forgave my mistakes and dumb moves. So beautiful trip. Julian was great, obviously crowded, very much a tourist place, riding through that town today. And then that beautiful drop down Banner Grade into the desert. Other than literally the temperature going up probably 20, 30 degrees. It was amazing. And even that, Borrego Springs was great. I had an amazing lunch. That caprese was phenomenal. It was nice to kind of sit inside and cool off for an hour and then get back on the bike. When I got back out on the bike, it was 105. Cool down, mostly around 100. The rest of the way out here was about a 2-hour ride out here. And now I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it's probably still in the 90s, but it doesn't feel bad. There's a breeze blowing. It's dry. I'm under this tree. I've got the beautiful river. You know, just sitting here watching this current go by, and how peaceful and still this is. I can't describe it. I can't put a price on it. I mean, very much the reason I camp and the reason I do these kind of adventure rides. And you know, yeah, there was some risk. I was a solo rider. A lot of people don't want to ride solo. I kind of prefer it because I can go my own pace. If I'm slower than somebody else, I don't feel like I'm holding them back. If I'm faster than somebody else, I don't want them to feel bad because they feel like they have to keep up. It's just easier for me to kind of run my own pace, and I can call a change order if I need to. If something's not going right, I can, if this had sucked or didn't work, I could have kept on riding and found someplace else. And I don't need to put it up to a committee or vote on it. So, but when you're by yourself, there's some risk you incur, and I did nearly drop the bike today going through a little creek crossing. It was concrete, but there was algae over the bottom, and even though the water was probably 3 inches deep and maybe 3 feet across, my front tire hit it and it went out. So fortunately, enough momentum carried me to the other side where it gripped the solid concrete again, and I didn't go down, but it got my attention. So I think it would have been embarrassing more than anything else, but not the way you want the day to go dropping your bike. I would have had to unload most of that gear to be able to get it back up on its wheels again. So anyway, yeah, all good today, amazingly good. As good as I had hoped and much better than I expected. So all camping trips don't always go that way, obviously. But I don't think, the gentle breeze, I don't think you could get a better situation here. So anyway, I'm glad you guys are here with me. I hope you're enjoying it. I'll have some more of these views as the evening goes on before I turn to and make my, well, not mine, it's actually another recipe, but the pasta carbonara that I make here on a camping trip. It's one of my favorites. Alright, so this carbonara recipe comes from FreshOffTheGrid.com. I highly recommend them. They have some tremendous camp recipes. So they use bacon jerky for their protein. I'm using grilled Spam, which you can see here. This will make the eggs, the Ova Easy egg powder. And then I grated some Parmesan cheese, and I've got some fresh ground black pepper I'll put on it. And hopefully we'll have a camp pasta carbonara here tonight. All right, pasta carbonara. Bon appetit, everybody. So another day down, another incredible day of riding, another hot day of riding. The unseasonable weather did not disappear when I crossed the Arizona line. Across the Colorado River twice today, once on a very primitive bridge, and the second time not on a major bridge either, still just a 2-lane. It was really kind of a cool way to go. Took a very circuitous route to get out here where I am now at Aztec Lake, which is gorgeous. It's windy and it's a little hot, and it looks like there's some monsoon clouds kind of playing around behind me, but I think it'll be fine. This is an established campground, so it's got everything from big Class A's and every kind of motorhome, so and it's large. But the nice thing is the spots are spread out, and the host, when I checked in with the ranger station, actually recommended a different spot than the one I picked out, and it was a good call. So what I had picked out was basically just off the side of the road, and that wouldn't have worked real well for me. So this is great. It's beautiful. No major mishaps along the way today. There's some lesson learned, and we'll go over all of those. There are a couple of things I need to adjust and fix and address, but nothing catastrophic. The bike ran amazing. Again, getting very comfortable with the cruise control now, especially on these little 2-lane empty roads that just go on forever. Tomorrow I'll wake up and make the final push into Prescott, Arizona, and that will wrap up this trip. So it has been incredible. I don't know what kind of sunset we're going to get here. You can see it's getting lower in the sky now. The worst part of the heat is definitely passing. It's getting cooler now. So time to enjoy my Old Fashioned, my reward for my day's success, and enjoy the evening. I will share this with everybody. I was going through Salome, Arizona, and stopped to get lunch at a little Mexican place there. And a couple of through bicyclists, bikepackers had stopped at that same restaurant. And I asked where they were going, and they said St. Augustine, Florida. I said, "Where'd you start?" They said, "San Diego." Turns out one of the riders was from Imperial Beach, right down the road from where I live now. And they were not young. I am going to say probably late 70s, maybe even early 80s. But they were making this push, and they still had 14 miles to go to find a motel. And they look pretty tired and pretty wiped out. So I wish them all the best. It sort of put it in perspective for me. I'm like, they're pedaling through this. Kind of made me kind of say, okay, well, being on a motorcycle is not so bad, even in all black gear. So it was cool to see. Love the people you meet out here. Part of the great fun of being an adventure traveler is you meet so many nice people. I ran into a young kid here tonight. He's here with his family from Orange County, and they've got their dirt bikes and their quads, and he rode over. He wanted to see my bike, asked me, how I like riding and what I did and everything. Just a really nice young man. And it's just that way all the time. So really enjoy this. Well, cheers everybody. I hope you have a great evening. So have you ever had the opportunity to deploy with the Navy or the Marines on a Navy ship? You know all too well that when you first depart on a voyage, the meals are incredible. There's steak, there's lobster, there's fresh eggs. But the longer you're out at sea, the more those meals start to decline until you're finally eating like powdered eggs and peanut butter sandwiches. Motorcycle camping is very similar. Last night I made my pasta carbonara thanks to freshoffthegrid.com. Tonight, though, I am again running out of ingredients, so I'm going to take some basic ramen and then I'm going to doctor it up with some additional soy sauce. I've got some hot spicy spam that I'm going to fry and mix it all in there. And I think it'll still be pretty good, but probably not as gourmet as it was last night. So we will see how that goes. I've got everything ready to go, and I'm going to get started. I will say one challenge with last night, the bugs were intense. There was no point where if I needed both hands to work on something, I was just getting consumed. They were flying in my mouth and my eyes. I was getting stung by mosquitoes. Like, it was hard to use both hands to cook and also manage, to keep from getting bugs in your face and your eyes and your mouth. So not a lot of bugs here tonight, so this should make it a little bit easier for me. So I'm going to start by chopping up my spam into little bits to fry. And then we'll get those going and heated up, and then I'll set those aside and get the ramen noodles going. So it'll be a nice little dinner again, pretty simple, but just me. Came out pretty good, all nice and cubed. I'll start the skillet preheating, and then throw that in there and fry it up real quick. It's a windy one tonight. Spam is in. And tonight I'm using chopsticks from a cool little cutlery kit that I got. It has a knife, fork, spoon, and chopsticks as part of it. Okay, that's frying up nicely. Alright, I think that's about done, so I'm going to set that aside here and switch it out for 2 cups of water. And we'll crank that up to get that going. And then we'll do the ramen according to the directions on the ramen packet. Alright, our water is boiling, so in go our ramen. Alright, our noodles are in and going strong. 3 minutes are done, so we're going to cut the heat on that. I'll add the flavor packet, my soy sauce, some Spam, and hopefully this is pretty good. Contemplating using like some hot mustard, or you could put peanut butter in this and kind of make it a pad thai, but I'm tired. Just keep it simple. Most of that on me. Alright, we'll let that sit and stir it up and dinner's ready. Alright, and the one last ingredient I will add here is a little fresh cracked pepper, because that just makes everything better. Alright, I think that's it. We're ready to dine. So when you're camping off your motorcycle, obviously, it's beyond through packing, probably even beyond backpacking, but it's certainly not car camping. You're kind of somewhere in the middle of that spectrum between probably backpacking and car camping. So obviously space is a premium, but you still want to enjoy yourself. So I discovered these box wines that are kind of neat. They don't take up much room. They fit in the side bag. And I picked up some ice today, so I chilled it just a little bit, and so I can enjoy a Cabernet with my pasta tonight. So I'll let you guys know how it is. It's really good. I was afraid it might be over too much sodium. Not at all. It's really good. And plus, I was sweating for pretty much 12 hours today nonstop, so I probably need some sodium back in my system. All right, everybody, bon appetit. Looks like I might have a nice sunset with my dinner here tonight. This wine's actually pretty good, although I will say it's at least 2 servings, so I guess I'm going to have 2 glasses of wine tonight. Okay, might help me sleep. But yeah, beautiful sunset tonight over the lake. Absolutely gorgeous. Arizona is just so spectacular in its scenery in every part of the state. It's just amazing. So, although, I mean, California was as well. California is a beautiful state. I'm certainly not saying that. But the night on the Colorado, other than the bugs and the heat, was one of the most beautiful spots I've ever been. The river was just flowing continuously. It was so calm. It was so peaceful. It was really nice just to truly unwind. It's the only one there. You know, obviously there are people here. Not a lot, because it's hot. But still, like, that was all. There wasn't even a camp host at the other place. Like, I was all alone. Which is kind of neat in its own way, but this is also very, very nice. And now the sun is going down, the temperature's cooling off, the breeze is getting cooler. It promises to be an absolute beautiful night. So I carried this giant loop 1 gallon canvas bag with me on this trip instead of a hard container. I have to say it's working out really well. I was concerned that sitting on this metal frame right here, it might cut through the fabric, but it hasn't. And so I've got this little drain that comes in the bottom that zips up underneath that. You can see that. And so you can just dispense water anytime you want. It holds a full gallon. And it's been secure over this entire trip, so I think that's going to be a keeper. It's got the these straps that you can run a strap through, so it can't fall so far, even if it comes loose. So far that has been a success. And I'll share some other things that have gone well and things that didn't go well. Maybe help you plan for your own trips when you do this. Well, it's right about 7 o'clock, and dinner is done. The dishes are cleaned. And I'm just sitting here watching the last vestiges of daylight disappear behind this mountain. Not a bright colored sunset, but with the monsoons to the east and kind of the cirrus cloud layer that's kind of covering everything, it's still absolutely beautiful with the lake in the foreground. It's really nice. It's a great way to unwind after a long and hot day. I really enjoy this. I know this is not for everybody. And there's certainly something to be said to going to a Michelin star restaurant and having a grand dinner, and I enjoy those kind of things as well. But honestly, I recently got to enjoy a Ramadan celebration, and I learned at that celebration that the whole idea is when they do these, and I'm sure it's probably similar to Lent, but you give up the basics of life that you enjoy. So you fast from sun up to sundown because the belief is that you become so comfortable with the decadence and all the things you enjoy, fine food, air conditioning, a car, all the things we've become accustomed to. When you strip those away, and for the Islam faith, you strip away the food and the drink, that when you do finish that and it's sunset and you get to enjoy a meal and you get to enjoy family and you're all together, it tastes even better. I think that's a parallel of why camp food tastes so much better out in the field. Camp cooking just tastes better, and I think that's part of it. So when you strip away everything, I have no luxuries out here. It's hot. I have no air conditioning. I'm living off a motorcycle. But you appreciate everything that you have even more after doing something like this. So I love it. I hope I can continue to do it for a while. I hope you will follow me on this journey, and we'll kind of explore and learn together. So, all right, this is probably it tonight. I'm going to let the sun set. Full disclosure, I don't think I'm going to set up a tent tonight. I think I'm just going to use my cot and set it on the blacktop there and sleep under the stars. It's a beautiful night, and setting up the tent, the only place to put it's in the rocks over here, and that wouldn't, not ideal anyway. So I'd rather have the ventilation and the air kind of blowing over me. So I may just put my sleeping bag and my pillow right on the cot right there and just call it a night. So I'll let you know how that goes. All right, everybody, I will talk to you in the morning. So I successfully completed my trip into Prescott. It was a remarkable trip. Absolutely a lifetime worth of memories on this one. I will give the lessons learned and takeaways from this trip on a separate video, as I kind of feel like this one was long enough already. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.